Yeah, man. Welcome to Cobb's Corner. I'm your host, Jarvis Cobb, and I have a very special guest with me today, man. This man right here. This man is a father. This man is a husband. He's a man of God. He's a man of the people. He's one that will go into the ground and into the dirt with the people and do the work that needs to be done. I mean, he's just an all-around good dude. Ever since I was a kid, he's always been someone that I can look up to. Mr. Roger Simmons. What's going on, sir?
With you, baby?
How you feeling?
Doing good. Man.
Yeah?
Doing real good.
Everything blessed?
Yeah, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm grateful.
That's what I
I'm
like
grateful,
there, man.
Yeah.
That's what I like there.
No
Actually, let's just start there. What's something that's right in front right now for you that you're grateful for?
Man, I think first of all, man, definitely grateful for the Lord and grateful for my family, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just, having a wife, having kids,
Right.
you know, being able to be in a position where I can provide for them.
Yeah.
Being able to interact, have time with my kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good thing. You know
What ages are they at now?
My daughter's 14, and my
Okay.
son is 10. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
personality ages.
Yep, exactly.
They doing a lot on their own right
Exactly.
now.
Exactly. They coming, man.
Yeah. Oh man.
They coming.
How's that changed you actually with the kids coming up?
I think, man, as they're changing, I'm seeing I have to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't continue to, treat Josiah like he was when he was 5.
True.
And Abigail when she was like 10.
True.
You know, they're changing and they're unique in who they are. And I have to engage them differently than I did when they were much younger.
Yeah, true.
So the challenge is me to change. You know what I mean? They gonna change, but
Yeah, right,
am I gonna
right.
change? You know what I mean? I'm much older now, so
That's interesting.
sometimes you get set in your own ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the challenge, is that if I'm gonna change.
See, I'm always asking because I know me and my wife gonna have kids at some
Right.
point, and I'm always curious of how the process goes.
Yeah.
And how much you actually have to try to evolve.
Correct.
To raise the kids the best way you want to raise them.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely, man.
So let's start from the beginning with you though. I know you grew up in Elgin, right? You grew up
Correct.
on the west side.
That's right. West side.
Man,
West
see,
side
I'm
the
east
best
side,
side.
man.
West
I'm
side the
man.
best
I'm east
side.
side all day, man. Elgin rule all day. But so you end up going to Judson.
That's correct.
What did you study?
I studied Christian religion philosophy.
Okay.
Biblical studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went and got your master's after that?
I got my master's like years after that.
Yeah.
I got my master's in intercultural studies
Okay.
at Wheaton College.
Huh. Intercultural studies. And what would you say what you pulled the most from that, the intercultural studies?
I think that what was interesting about that program is that it was really, I was studying something that I loved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like studying culture.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I've always been fascinated by different cultures and nations and people's groups. Ever since I was in grammar school. So, you know, just being able to be in a position where I can study it and be able to learn it in depth.
Yeah.
You know, it's been just a blessing, man. Yeah.
That's cool.
Most
man.
definitely.
And then in Elgin, I know you were at Bethesda, the church I grew up in.
Right.
What were your roles there? I don't even know. I know you were kind of coming up in the ranks a little bit
In Bethesda,
for a while.
right?
Yeah. But I don't know what your roles were.
Yeah, no doubt. So, you know, Bethesda Church of God in Christ,
Yeah,
denomination.
yeah.
So, you know, there's a protocol. You know, I was.
Yeah, oh,
And
yeah.
So I came in as a minister.
Okay.
When I was 18, and then
Really?
I started. Then I became an elder. I was ordained as an elder when
Yeah.
I was 23.
Huh.
And so you're looking at 23. Then from that point, you know, I eventually became like the assistant.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
second assistant. You know, to Pastor Marks.
Yeah.
And Elder Willie Lockett at that time.
Willie Lockett.
Yeah, so-
Willie Lockett. Oh,
you remember
man.
the late Willie Lockett?
He always
so-
had the cool slick back
No
right
doubt.
here with
Yeah.
the curl joint going. He
No
was
doubt.
always nice, man.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
You know, while we on that, you know, you think of it that Pastor Morris is like a father figure to all of us.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? He was definitely a father figure. So he took me on his wings,
Yeah.
mentored me. You're around the church, you always work with your hands. Pastor Morris always had work.
He gonna
for
have you working. Yeah.
No doubt.
You gonna lay some bricks.
You lay some bricks. You know what I mean? 'Cause I started off, I was the doorkeeper. You know, I was an usher.
Yeah.
You know, and I took pride in that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, then I had to clean out the bus. Remember, I had to clean the bus out.
Yep.
You know, I had to, clean the carpet. You know, so it was a hands-on.
So that's where you got a lot of your entry grunt work.
Most definitely.
Really understanding what goes into building the ministry.
Yes. Yes. And
Nice.
Pastor Morris always say it wasn't about the titles.
Yeah.
It was about being a servant.
Yeah.
It's about serving the people.
Absolutely.
And he modeled that.
Now, I know you said you came in at 18, and
Correct.
you kind of spoke about at 17 you didn't throw your life away. Can you talk a little bit about that? Can you share a little bit of that?
Yeah, when I was 17, Jairus, growing up, I grew up in Clifford Court.
Yeah.
It's the community from down under.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tucked away. You've been there.
Oh yeah.
And when I was 17, man, at that time, man, drugs began to really flood our community. There was always drugs, here and there, people doing
Right,
different things, but
right.
it began to come in like a flood, man. After we seen that movie Scarface came out,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
everybody wanted, what I mean?
Everybody was the king of the world.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Everybody saying, say hello to my little friend, So, it just became like, I was presented with opportunity, to go that route, and I was offered several times,
Yeah.
and then, I had a friend in the community, Shondell,
Yeah.
who was always in my ear about coming to church. And then, Giles, what happened that I actually fell into a depression
Really?
when I was 17. And it looked different because I was always afraid to go to school, go to sleep in my own room. You know what I mean? I was afraid when it was at night.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was something about night, and I was very depressed. And I was on the verge of dropping out of high school. A lot of people don't know that. I was on the verge. And if I would have dropped out, I really didn't know what I was going to do next.
Right. Yeah.
The streets was calling. That definitely I had a job in the streets.
Right.
I could sell drugs.
Right.
So I was faced with that at 17. I was very close to dropping out. Very close to dropping out, man. Really, the only class I was passing at that time was PE. All you have to do is show up for PE.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Show up, put your
everything
uniform
else,
on.
Exactly. You get an A. Kick the ball, you get an A. So I was at a point, at a crossroad.
Yeah.
So I could have easily went down that road to selling drugs, which we know that leads. Then I had another road that was presented to me because Shondell was inviting me to church.
Yeah.
So I was stuck. I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And took a trip down south, man, to visit my dad. Changed my life.
What Pops had today?
Man, went down, man. My pops, man, was in church, a godly man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to cuss. I didn't grow up in church.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, I go to church and I'm sitting in there, and that was the first time I felt convicted. Like, I felt like, man, I need to make a change. And I had to make that change right in there in Arkansas, but when I came back with a conviction.
Yeah.
So I told Shondell I went to church. I said, man, I go to church, man, but I ain't gonna go there hitting on those girls.
Right, yeah.
But that's why he was inviting me.
Yeah.
And man, my life changed forever, man. Shook Pastor Smart's hand.
Yeah.
He looked me in his eye, looked me in my eye, and it's just like, with great interest.
Yeah.
And I came back, man, and before you know it, man, my life has changed. I gave my life to the Lord. And,
Wow.
man, I went back to school, ended up finishing high school.
Okay.
And after high school, I went right into, college. So 17 was a pivotal point for me when I was 17.
And from that point, you kind of figured out what you were going to do. You didn't necessarily know what it would be, but you knew that you were going to be of service. So you was going to do something as far as through the church, or is that something that came later once you got to college?
Yeah. I think once, by my senior year in high school,
Okay.
I knew that I felt called. I had a desire to really serve people in the area of ministry.
Yeah.
And then I went into college. I ended up studying in that field.
Yeah.
And of course, I got a lot of my practical hand-on at Bethesda.
Right.
Bethesda was a school for me as
yeah.
well. And so I had the college and I had my studies at the church. So I didn't know fully what it was, Jarvis. I didn't know fully what is all that God had for me. And I don't think anyone really do know.
Yeah.
Even at this point, I can tell you fully what's ahead of me.
Which I know you do a lot with kids. So
Correct.
I'm doing this part so they can see that you took an opportunity.
Correct.
That you necessarily wasn't looking for the money in it.
Right.
You wasn't looking for all the glamour and the exposure.
Right.
It was a secondary school for you.
Yes, it was.
Something that built you for 5 years,
Yes,
6
it did.
years.
Yes.
And just to show the importance of accepting something that may not be for the money right now.
Correct.
But it can build you to when you are 26, 27, 30, you're ready to go because you have those foundational skills.
Most definitely. Definitely. I think that one of the things that built with me much was character.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me? And even in any job that you get in, any field you get into, and they say that, in terms of leadership's leadership qualities, one of the top one they look for is character. Character is like at the top trait. Is having character, integrity. And so I was into a field that, you know, you had to have good character.
Yeah.
If you're gonna serve people, that's a priority that you have good character.
That's how they're gonna trust you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, counseling with people, talking, speaking into people's souls. I mean, you don't take that lightly.
That's big stuff.
Most definitely.
That's big stuff. I don't mess around with.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you start your mission trips coming out of Bethesda, or how did you get to, or where did you go from Bethesda? You were 23, 24, and then what was your next move from there?
Yeah. So I was in Bethesda up until about around about 29.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
And
wow.
I started working in a ministry. At that time, it was called Riverwoods Christian Center, and Riverwoods was in partnership with a church called Willow Creek, which you're familiar with.
Yep.
And Willow Creek had this connection out in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So they invited their different ministry partners to go with them to the Dominican Republic, which was Santo Domingo, the capital.
Okay.
And they had invited us, and they wanted to pick one of the staff members and I think it was 4 other teams that we worked with. And I happened to be the staff that was picked. But this is an interesting thing that when we were in the meeting, our supervisor, Bob, and we had several other community coordinators, I was one of them, and he said that one of you all will be picked. We don't know who it is yet. And when he said it, I just felt this overwhelming peace and just excitement. When I walked out of me, I said, man, I'm going to be the one. I'm going. I'm going to the Dominican Republic.
Oh, so you was hyped already.
I was hyped.
You was ready.
I was hyped, and he hadn't even made the decision yet.
Yeah.
And everyone that sat around that table was definitely qualified to go. They had the right. They were good employees. And they picked me to go. And when I went in 99, when I was there, I felt like the Lord impressed in my heart that I'll be coming back to that country. He didn't tell me for how long or when it would be. I just had a peace that, you know what, I'm going to end up coming back to this country. But I don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that whole thing began.
So you just went for one trip.
Yeah.
Short was like a month or something like that?
Yeah, I went just for 1 week in 99. Then in 2000, a friend of mine who started his mission organization, he approached me and he said, Roger, we're going to Dominican Republic for 1 year. And we'd love for you to go. I couldn't go for the whole year, but my job released me to go for 2 months.
Okay.
So I was there for 2 months.
Okay.
And in those 2 months, that's when I pretty much got hooked. I said, I need to be coming back here.
And you told him you ain't coming home.
I stayed there and I came back. I pretty much came back. I started packing up. You know what I mean? I started packing up for real, literally. Man. I started selling things in my house. Yeah. I started preparing myself to depart.
And that was 2000.
That was in 2000.
So did you go back late 2000, 2001?
I ended up going back in February of 2001.
Okay.
I resigned January 31st in 2001, which was my birthday. I resigned on that day from that job, and I went full time into the mission field.
Was that a scary moment for you?
Big time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because growing up in our communities, we don't have a lot of black missionaries coming up out of our community.
No, not at all.
You see what I mean?
Not at all.
Our community is our mission field.
Right.
And I understand.
And it's enough work.
No doubt, it's enough work to do here. You talking about going to Beirut? I got Beirut in my backyard. Yeah. So that was definitely counterculture. Yep. So I had to go. I felt like, how I'm going to raise support. Yeah. This is all new for me. Yeah. And I felt like the Lord put on my heart just to go to my friends and just people who know my character, know who I am. Yeah. And just let them know what you're doing and just see how well they can support me. Yeah. And I did just that, simply that. And lo and behold, man, I was able to raise support. I got supported for almost 6 years being Dominican Republic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's how it went, man.
And I know we talked about it last time we saw each other. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of bad publicity about the DR right now.
Correct.
And I wanted you to speak on some of the things you learned in the DR. One in particular that I love that you talked about was some of the values that the people hold. Speak on that a little bit about the values the people of the DR really hold.
Most definitely. First, I just send my condolences to the families,
of course,
that have lost loved ones over there. and I don't know all what's behind all that.
Right.
I think that most of the deaths was on resorts.
Yeah.
I think. Yep. And so I send my condolences to them. But in terms of my experience and what I experienced in the Dominican Republic, first of all, I didn't live on a resort.
Yeah.
I lived right where the people were at.
Right.
I lived right where the happening is at.
Yeah.
You know, I was drenched in the culture.
And what was that, Santa?
I lived in a town called Jarabacoa.
Jarabacoa.
Yeah, Jarabacoa. You gotta just say it fast.
Jarabacoa.
There you go.
Just
You
throw
got just throw it out there. Don't try to sound it out.
It don't sound crazy.
You just gotta sound it Jarabacoa. You just gotta say it.
It don't sound mad wild.
Took me a while to get it, but I got it now. But anyways, I think that for Dominicans, man, so much I can say about the people, the culture, and the land. They're mixed people of African ancestry, you know, and Tainos and Spaniard.
Okay.
And so they have a lot of rhythm, within them. You know, you have, a lot of rhythm in their music, merengue, bachata, you got salsa, you got a lot of the cultural music. But in terms of Dominican, their culture, what stood out to me is their value on relationships. Okay.
Yeah.
They're very relational people,
Yeah.
very affectionate, very warm culture. I told you once before, when you go and visit, we go to these little stores in the community called Comados.
Yeah.
And you go there, and you often have people hanging out in the stores, maybe playing dominoes outside or just sitting out talking. And if someone walk in, they shake everybody's hand that's present.
Yeah.
And then they go to the person that's going to serve them, their items, purchase the items from. Then that person will ask them how they doing, how's their family, and actually, then we get to the business.
Show interest first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's the relationship was first.
Yeah.
People were first.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So I really value that. I really was impacted by that. And I try to adapt that to my life even today.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? My wife is Dominican. Okay, she's from the land. She's native, and so I try to incorporate some of those values in my life as well.
Yeah, we talked about how out here we're so fast paced. We're so
correct.
We go into a business, it's not conversation.
Yeah.
And even if somebody do say how you doing, they don't want to hear they don't necessarily want to hear how you doing. It's a courtesy basically. And we don't have that relationship building.
Correct.
Like that. And I felt that was something very strong that you told me with that is I felt a connection to that. It made sense. Right when you said it, it made sense. Like
Yes.
People should do that more often.
People should do that more often.
They should be more relational, care a little bit more.
Most definitely.
Talk to each other, communicate a little bit more.
Yes.
Before they start asking, what can I get from you?
Most
I'm
definitely.
here for what I need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that.
Love it, man. When you look at it, that it's a way of really establishing your peace. You're bringing peace.
Yeah.
You come into a room of people that you may not know, whoever, and you just shake their hand. You just can't, how you doing? You just kind of shake the hand, introduce yourself to them. You're establishing your peace.
Yep.
And you are honoring as well.
Yeah.
Because I believe if you're an honorable person, honors people.
Yeah.
So that's what I really love about it, because you're bringing your peace. I'm not coming to, bring violence. I'm not coming to bring division.
Right.
I'm coming to bring my peace. And that's what I bring, and that's what I leave.
So what did you do? What was your mission while you were in the DR?
I worked with the church, but the church had a school specifically. It's called Colegio de Timoteo, the School of Timothy. And this school here was specifically geared towards kids who lived in very impoverished communities.
Okay.
And they were all boys.
Yeah.
Ages from about 9 up to about 15, 16 years old. And I started working in that school.
Yeah.
With a good friend of mine named Juan Alberto. He asked me if I'd come and work with him. Him and his wife founded the school. Nice. So I came in, my Spanish, I didn't know any Spanish.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what can I do? And he knew I was very athletic and everything, so he had me working PE with the kids. So I would do PE and basketball, football, whatever. So I'm still doing sign language and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, go out, kind of throw pass, hey, run, whatever. We figured it out, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I came in really as a PE teacher. Okay? And then as my Spanish started to improve, which I learned from the kids, that I started being like a monitor. I was more like a mentor, more like a supervisor. Okay. You know what I mean? Kind of a big brother kind of thing, and I was able to really speak more into their life and help them. That's what I did. I worked in the school, man. And then also, man, my wife and I, we had a small group in our home. Okay. Full of young people. We worked with the young people as well. Yeah. We had a small group that met in our home. It was live, man.
What
was live.
What was the main goal with the small group?
Yeah.
What did you all want to accomplish there?
Accomplish a small group. We shared, the teachings of the Word of God. So we want to build people up spiritually.
Yeah.
But also we build community. We do life together.
Yeah.
So that was different. We always had a little meal or something to eat. We fellowship. Once again, it's
Yeah.
about the people.
Yeah.
We fellowship. We talk. Even after our little teaching, people would linger around. We'd talk. May throw some music on.
Yeah.
We may do some dancing. Interact with each other. And then when it get done, dishes and stuff all done. The people, man, they would clean your house up. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Here, man, come they eat your food and
Oh,
everything.
they
They
out
leave
of
you left with a mess.
My lady be looking around sometimes like,
Yeah.
Can they get in here?
Yeah, no doubt. But there they wouldn't let you. Because I would go over and I would start, because I wanted the cups, I would go down and start doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no. They said, no, you don't touch anything.
Wow.
They would clean your house, man, and leave it spotless clean, man.
Wow.
So we have good fellowship, good word, good fellowship, doing life together, and then they clean your house, man.
Man, you can't beat that,
man.
Can't
You know what I
beat
mean?
that, man. I swear, what you talking about, they just sound like wonderful people. I just want to go. I just want to walk the streets, and I know my wife feel the same way.
Most definitely.
Just walk the streets, actually get into the culture.
Yes.
Speak to some older people. We love
Yes.
doing that, just to get some wisdom on life.
Yeah.
And I feel like that sounds like one of those places where you really get a better understanding on how to live.
Yes. And I would say, also, Jive, is that I hear a lot of people here from America say,
Yeah.
oh, I've been to the Dominican Republic. And I always, before they get it out of their mouth, I say, oh, you went to Punta Cana.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you know? Well, most Americans go to Punta Cana,
Right.
and it's a beautiful place. I've been
Yeah.
there. Beautiful beaches. However, I don't think that you really you get a chance to experience the culture unless you come up out of the resorts.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You come to where the real life is at.
Because you see all of it on the way to the resort.
Most
when
definitely.
you on your taxi, you see all the poverty, you see where the real streets are, you see
Most
all
definitely.
that, and then you drive into the gates.
Yeah.
And now you get in this big, beautiful place.
Exactly,
But
this big, beautiful
on the
place.
way to it, we saw the same thing. In Jamaica, we saw that.
Right.
In Mexico, we saw that.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's why I try to encourage. And like any other place, even here in America, there's dangerous spots.
Yep.
There's places that you don't want to go.
Yep.
You want to be careful. You can go to, even in this area, and where we live at, and in Chicago area and in the suburbs, places you got to be careful, right?
Yep,
So that's the same in the DR as well. So I'm not going to
Absolutely.
paint this picture as though that, you just go there as, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
It's good to go with an insider though.
Yeah.
Go with another Dominican to be your guide.
And speak Spanish.
They speak Spanish. Know the land. You know what I mean? Know the layout of the land. Don't go there. Hey, I got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And trust me when I say that.
They'll point you out.
I tell you from experience. Trust me. I'm not just telling you anything. I've seen things happen. Yeah.
Man. So what do you think kids need most nowadays? Let's start with the U.S. What do you think they need most?
Young people?
Yeah.
Now you saying just any young person,
Yeah.
regardless.
Well, let's have you start here. Where do you think they struggle the most? And then what's something that we can do to kind of help them get over that hump?
Well, I work with a lot of young people in my job.
Right.
That's why I work. I work with a lot of youth teens. And I heard a man once made a statement that he said, our kids don't need more textbooks. They need more text lives. And simply saying that they need more examples.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Our kids don't even need more information.
Oh, they got it all.
Because they have it. They have it in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
They don't need more information. They need more data.
Yeah.
They need more examples.
Yeah. Very true.
You see what I'm saying?
Very
of
true.
the way that I'm trying to point them to go, I am to show them that way through my life. Doesn't mean you're perfect,
Yeah.
but trying to live that out before them, because kids, you're fake, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you're not really genuine.
They'll point you out.
They'll point you out, man. They don't take you serious.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? They just look over you.
Yeah.
But when you're sincere and genuine in who you are, I think the kids will respect you more. And then they can hear what you say. They say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
I like that.
See what I mean?
That. Yeah.
It's not about them. I'm trying to get them to know what I know.
Yeah.
They want to know, do you care?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. Are you gonna still be here?
Are you gonna still
be? Be another one that leaves?
Exactly.
And just Now I'm on my own again.
Exactly. And that's across the board.
Yeah.
That's across the board. All ethnicities, whatever, that's across the board.
I know one thing I think kids struggle with is identity.
Good one.
They look to their cell phone and they see a life that they want, and then they see a bunch of people portraying a life that those people may not even have.
Yeah.
But they see the reaction that the people are getting from it.
Yeah.
So now they're equating perception to glory or to
Gotcha.
to rising up.
Gotcha.
How can we help kids get a better identity of who they are and not look to a cell phone to tell them who they are? Mm-hmm. What can we do there?
Well, life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
So it's what we speak to them,
Yeah.
what we say to them. You see what I mean?
So open communication. just
Open communication,
constant.
because a lot of our kids either got their head down or
Yeah.
they got their ears plugged.
Yeah.
So it affects social skills.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
So a lot of our kids are struggling with eye-to-eye kind of contact, you know,
Yeah.
engaging another human being.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's really simple.
Yeah.
You know, man, it's about them getting back to their humanity. There's a place for this. We know that.
Right.
You know, and we need that.
Right.
I think it's a blessing in many ways.
Absolutely.
But anything going too far can become a curse, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that, I tell you, case in point, you know, I'm a father, you know, and one day I had my daughter in my hands, in my arms like this, and the light reflection kind of shine in my eyes, and she looked me in my eyes, and she kind of like, and she said, "Daddy, I see me." She see me through the reflection of my eyes. She said, "I see me," and that touched me because they say that kids build their identity and self-esteem is built through when the parents and the fathers give their kids eye-to-eye contact. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she said she saw herself. That was just an indication that identity was being built. You follow me?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
So it's something
like
about that eye-to-eye contact, not that stare-down kind of contact.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, yeah.
Just, "Okay, look at me, you know what I mean? It's just that eye contact, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to learn that more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you feel is a core or a necessity to building a great family?
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm no expert, but
Yeah.
I think that definitely love and forgiveness. 2 words:
Love and forgiveness.
love and forgive. The greatest goal, the greatest call in life is to love,
Yeah.
and then to forgive.
I actually saw something today and they asked, what is love?
Yeah.
And one person said it was doing what needs to be done, even though it may not necessarily be like a right thing.
Gotcha.
And he referenced it, or it may not be a nice thing. He referenced it to somebody being in war.
Correct.
And someone having like a hurt leg. And you as his war mate know, if you don't lose that leg, you're going to bleed out. You're going to die.
Correct.
So I'm going to go ahead and take your leg off out of love.
Correct.
It's not something nice,
Gotcha.
but you know it's a place of love.
Correct.
And I thought that was pretty deep to
Wow.
where love isn't just like I'm hugging you, I'm giving you grace, I'm
Right.
showing compassion.
Right.
It's truth.
It's true.
It's
Good.
always picking truth over everything else.
That's
it's,
good,
It's
man.
doing what's supposed to be done,
Very good.
even if it's not the easy thing to do.
Very good.
Yeah,
I like when you say that, man.
Yeah.
Even not the easy thing to do, because love is a decision.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
100%.
if you can't base it on emotion, because your emotions always moving.
They
It's-
change.
It changes,
Yeah,
right?
change with the season.
But it's a decision.
Yep.
It's a decision, and that's what you got to base it. I made a decision to love you, and it's unconditional.
Yeah.
It's not based on okay, if you act a certain way or you be a certain way, then I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you in spite of. Then forgiveness is that people are going to offend you.
Yeah.
People are going to disappoint you. I've disappointed my wife many times. My wife have disappointed me. My kids have disappointed me. I've disappointed my kids.
Yeah.
I've disappointed people I've worked with. You know, the list goes on, correct?
Yeah.
And vice versa. So that's going to happen in life. And what are you going to do with that? what are you going to do with that offense?
Yeah.
And to forgive is that you loose yourself. You richly free yourself from the offense, and you don't hold that towards that person.
Right. So it's not consuming your mind.
It's not consuming you, because if there's no forgiveness, there's no future. Because unforgiveness will hold you to the past.
Yeah.
What that person did to you.
You got to keep bringing it up.
And you stuck in the past.
Yeah.
So forgiveness gets you past your past.
I like that. That's very true.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
so I always say love and forgive.
Just keep living.
And keep living, man. And you know, and there's all type of ways that's lived out.
For sure.
But you know, in family, man, that those are two things that, you know, we try to stress.
What's one thing that you learned from becoming married or from getting married? What did you learn about yourself that you needed to change, that you necessarily wasn't even focusing on and didn't even notice at first?
Very good.
Because like something with me, I'll give you time to just think about something. Something with me, I wasn't big with emotions. I didn't cry a lot.
I got you.
Cried a handful of times.
Right.
I didn't do a lot of, you know, pouting and
Correct.
let's go over the issue over and over.
Gotcha.
I'm one, like, all right, this is the problem. All right, this is the solution.
Okay.
Let's skip all the in-between stuff because we still got to work on the solution anyway. And I learned from my wife that it's okay to be in those moments. It's okay to have those feelings. It's okay to just be hurt for a minute. It's fine, because I didn't even want to be hurt. I don't know if that's me just thinking I need to be a man, like I need to man up all the time or whatnot, but I didn't even want to show that I might have been hurt about something. And that's something big that I learned about myself, is to kind of open up a little bit more. What's something that you might have learned?
Very good.
Yeah.
I was very similar, because we men, at times, we're very private about our emotions.
Oh, yeah.
We're private about what we feel. And coming into marriage, I was very much like that. You know, very kind of closed, introvert, you know, hold things in. And my wife is the opposite, you know, and I would say that in a good way. You know, she knows how to communicate her feelings, communicate what's concerning her, even to this day, much better than I do.
Yeah.
And by me watching her and hearing her communicate like that, have helped me, that I can't be holding things in.
Yeah.
I have to learn how to talk about it.
Yeah.
Stress my frustrations, you know, talk about things that pain, that's hurtful.
Right.
So that was huge for me, man. Really coming out, you know. And I think also my wife, in marriage, that, you know, and I prayed, I hope that I've been a blessing to her too, but I know that my wife have helped me to kind of come out of my shell, in a sense. In Dominican culture, they, even though they're believers, they still embrace their cultural expression. I mean, they don't forsake their dance. They don't forsake, you know, their expression in terms of, you know, their celebration.
Yeah.
And I saw how that when I became a believer, I kind of like started disconnecting myself to a certain degree from the culture that helped form me. Feel me? So when I saw that in them as believers, them still embracing their culture, but yet people who feared God and had a loving relationship with God, that I was like, wow, how much more of my culture that I have kind of like abandoned.
Yeah.
That I'm talking about the good of it, not the broken. I'm talking about the good stuff.
Yeah.
And me being in a relationship with her, I started learning that, like, man, you know, like, I need to appreciate what has helped form me, helped shape me, even when I was a kid coming up. That was affirming, and that was good. Not the bad,
right?
But that was affirming, and that was good.
But were you in a place to where once you made that decision to change and conform, did you feel like you had to just cut everything off? Like, did you associate everything with how you felt in that moment? Like, I'm 17, my life isn't where I want it to be. So that means everything I'm doing over here is causing my life to not be this way. So no, for me to be over on this side, I got to cut off everything.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did. I almost became a monk. I was almost a black monk around there. I'm serious, man. Like I went in.
Yeah.
I went in, bro.
Oh,
And
man.
so I disconnected myself from a whole lot, man. I mean, I went in, and I look back and I said, why did I go in so deep and disconnect myself so far?
Yeah.
And part of it, I think it was immaturity and ignorance, but also I think that it was a part of my survival at that time.
Yeah.
Because what was going on in my community at that time, it's almost like it wasn't no middle ground. Mm-hmm. You either gonna be all in this or all in this. You feel me? So I had to immerse myself in it to survive. You know what I mean? Like a survival mechanism in the environment in which I live. Huh. You know what I mean? I couldn't
teeter-totter.
No, I couldn't teeter-totter, man. And then as I got mature and got older, then I was able to drop back and look and be able to discern some of those things that, wow, you know what? I still can engage that and appreciate that and don't have to be doing something that's negative condemning people. Follow me?
Yep, that's right. Yep. I'm learning that more and more as I get older, to where it's you control what you do in those environments. Right. Because that might be the environment you need to be in to speak to the person that God wants you to speak to.
Correct.
And that's I completely get that.
Yeah.
So coming out. So DR 6 years.
Yeah.
Where did the crossing culture come into play?
Crossing culture, man. I think that crossing culture is a combination of my life experiences that I've experienced since I was a kid, and the way I'm gifted. It's like this convergence. Yeah. Okay. All that I've experienced in my life, all the way up until this point in my life, have collided with the way that I've been gifted. Yeah. And at that convergence, I saw that much of my life experiences I've been in places where I've been a minority, or I've had to adjust, to adapt, to understand, code switching, and I went to a school that was predominant, Anglo-Americans, and I lived in a community of predominant black, okay? I've been to, then I went to Dominican Republic, different places where I had to adapt. I had to learn things that I did not learn, coming up in my own culture.
Absolutely.
So, crossing culture came about, when I came off the mission field in 2007. And after that, I had went to college. I went back to my college. I went there, got my master's degree back in, actually I completed in 2016. And when I got my degree in master in intercultural studies, then I was like, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
Okay. How am I going to use this to help people and serve people, but also, I can establish a business with it. Yeah. And then that's how, this whole idea of crossing culture, whereas I want to be able to help people who are in diverse settings. Yeah. How could you better connect and build relationship with people who from different culture backgrounds? Yep. So I use a lot of my life experiences.
Yeah, you got to.
Of course, knowledge and, the academic piece, but that's kind of how it came about.
So what would you say is important in preserving your culture then?
I think in preserving our culture, I think that within every culture there's values. Right. Every culture have values. And the values that affirm life, okay, you preserve that, okay? The values that affirms life, values that affirms respect for humanity, that affirms honor, that affirms relationship. Those values you preserve, okay? Now, I think that every value can go in two different directions. Values that are clothed in humility put you in a position where you can be much more flexible, and I can learn from you. Yeah, I can learn things from you. You can learn things from me. Yeah, I'm not so rigid in my values where I cannot learn from someone else. Values that are clothed in pride, it says that this the way I do it, and I try to set myself as being superior to you. See what I'm saying? Meaning you can't tell me nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your values are beneath me. I can't learn nothing from you, but you can learn something from me. You're more rigid in your value. There's no bend, no flexibility in it. See what I'm saying? So in preserving your values, you must be humble, and also must be values that affirm life.
So is that what you bring to companies or bring to organizations that want you to come in and talk to them? You try to give them principles like that?
I give them principles like that because definitely if they're in a setting where there's diverse people, correct?
Yeah.
And it's people that come with their culture. And how could you build an environment where those people with those various cultures are feeling appreciated?
Right.
They're feeling included.
Right.
And not excluded. You know what I mean?
Right.
If there's a certain culture that's being dominant and then the other cultures are being suppressed, then I come in, I have to address that.
Yeah.
And how can we make them feel just as important as everyone else within the organization?
And what I can actually see happening is someone having some preconceived stereotypes in their minds when they come into a setting that then makes them think, well, my values aren't what that stereotype is.
Correct.
So now I'm better than them, so they should actually learn from me.
Correct.
What are some of those stereotypes that you've run into recently that's still out there, that you still hear, that you still see, that you've probably been addressing recently?
Wow, it's a lot of them. First of all, let me say something about stereotypes.
Yeah.
Stereotypes are incomplete stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's an assumption that you form about somebody or a group of people, and it's only an assumption. It's something that's very incomplete.
Yeah.
And then you form these conclusions about them that are not true. I give you a case in point. I was in a meeting at one time, and this particular individual said that they feared men of color. They actually feared them.
Yeah.
It was a white lady. She feared men of color. And I was like, why is that? Give me more.
Yeah.
And pretty much what it was is that what they perceived of men of color is what they saw by way of the media. And it was violence and crime and very aggressive and hard, not approachable.
Yeah.
So in their line of work, when they had to encounter that people of such, they feared. They had a sense of fear. So when we started talking, I was like, you know me, what's your perception of me?
Yeah.
Have I come across like that? Exactly. I'm a man of color.
Yeah.
Have I come across like, well, no, that's an example. We all are not like that. There are people like that, but you can't put everyone in that boat.
Right. And once someone gets to, I'm guessing this lady was a little higher in age, maybe 40s, 50s. Do you think there's a possibility of change at that point mentally?
I think it would take time, but I think it is. It's hope for anyone.
Yeah.
Once they make a decision that they want to change.
Yeah.
There's definitely hope. But there's some things that have been processed in, and they got to be processed out.
Yeah.
And that can come with time.
Right.
So that person, I would encourage them to build relationships with people. Them very people that you fear, seek to build relationships with them. And as you build a relationship with them, that stereotype, that mindset that you have towards them, it's going to start changing.
Absolutely.
And I can say let me tell you something about Dominicans real quick.
Yeah.
The stereotype. Some people have a stereotype about Dominicans. They would say that all Dominicans just want to get a visa and come to the United States. Oh yeah, that's a stereotype out there.
Really?
Yeah, they just want to get a visa and come to the United States and and live the American dream. Okay, listen here. I've been to Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
And there are Dominicans who love their country.
I was gonna say,
love their culture.
It sounds like they love where they
love
at.
their people. Feel me?
Yeah.
But there are people too that want to get out of there.
Of course.
Okay, for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But when you start saying every time you see a Dominican and that pops up in your head, oh, they just trying to get to the United States.
Yeah.
You have a stereotype. You know what I mean? And you just formed an assumption about a group of people that's not totally true.
Wow. Yeah, man. That's see. I don't know much about the Dominican Republic people or the Dominican people. I'm basically been learning from what you've been telling me, and everything I'm hearing, I'm loving what I'm hearing, and it's making me want to go and visit the place.
Most definitely, yeah.
So to think that they just want to get out of there doesn't even make sense to me, and I ain't never even been there.
Correct.
Shoot, they seem like they got to kind of figure it out.
Yeah,
a little bit. Shoot.
Can I throw another one in real quick, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one because we live in America, we got pretty much the world have come to us.
Yeah.
We got people here from all around the world.
Absolutely.
Pretty much so.
Yeah.
So if a person is speaking English and they have a strong accent. Okay, whether it be a Hispanic, whether it be from India, Russia, whatever, they're strong. So the English not real good, because the accent is real strong. Yeah. Sometimes us Americans, we can look at that and we can perceive that person as being ignorant.
Without even putting the words to it.
Exactly. And not knowing that very person in their country, in their language, they may be a doctor, they may be a lawyer, they may be highly educated. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow, I never even put that together, but that makes sense.
It does.
It definitely makes sense. We think if they struggling with the English language, then they might not have it all together.
Yes.
Which stereotype.
Stereotype. Once again.
See, you can. I might be guilty of some stereotypes over here. Golly, didn't even know.
See what I mean? So you degrade them in terms of you think less of them in terms of their intelligence level. You think them lesser, and they can be a very highly intelligent individual.
Wow, that's cool, man.
I know from experience. When I lived there, I was tumbling over my Spanish, and I felt so humbled. I was like, wow.
And actually, kind of speak to how you integrated yourself with the people there. How you actually got to where they was like, all right, you one of us.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I married a Dominican. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm married into the culture.
Right.
Okay. So, they there. Okay. All of our friends, so they would come over and hang out. And I lived also within the community. Yeah. With the people. I went to their stores. Yeah. I shopped at their stores. Yeah. When there was, at times we lived in a community where the electricity would go out. Our electricity would go out too. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes running water went out, and ours we didn't have running water.
That's mind-boggling to me too. Where they can just shut it off at any time, and the whole city just be without water until they decide to turn it back on.
Yeah. Unless you have a generator. Yeah. And some people have a generator, and those kind of things, inverter. But I lived among the people. I didn't live in an excluded place where certain people live. Gated community or what have you. I lived right there among them. So I was immersed in the culture, literally. I didn't know no Spanish, but I was immersed in the culture, immersed in the language. And as I said, I went and played basketball with guys. I knew guys in the streets. I knew people in different places, building relationships. I walked all the time. Yeah. I would walk to church, walk. I was always walking. Always walking, and people were always out. Wow! So I was feeling it. I was taking it all in. I was breathing it all in. I was breathing it in every day. I was breathing it in.
And actually, I'll have you tell it real quick if you want to.
Go ahead, tell me
the story about when you did drive one of the few times and you ended up getting into the accident with the guy.
Yes, I did.
But it's a story of favor, though.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, break that story down.
I'll break it down for you, man. Woo. My wife and I think my daughter was with us too. We was coming back from shopping. We went to the big city to get some groceries. We're coming down the road, and in the DR, there's a lot of people with little motorcycles, little scooters in the streets. And you got to be careful, because they come from different directions at time. And I lost track as I'm driving, and I hit a guy from behind. Yeah. And I stopped, pulled over, and immediately I got out to see if the guy was okay. Right. You know what I mean? And he was alive, but he did, get a scar. He had hit his head. And so I'm just kind of like, wow, man, the police came. People called the police immediately. So the police came, the bullhorn, hey, you, they called me, pointing me out, and hey, don't go nowhere. And so they got me, man, and pretty much took me in, and I was in jail, man. I was in jail. So here it is. I'm in jail in the DR, and everybody that I knew in the town, friend-wise, they was trying to talk to the officers about, hey, you need to release him, and man, they was sold on the fact that he's not getting out, and they was pretty much selling this sad story to me. They say, Roger, they let me know, hey, this guy he may not live. And,
oh man,
I was just like, oh man, I ain't gonna never get out of here, man. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm in jail for real.
I'm gone.
I'm gone. I'm like, get it, man. So they tried everybody. Man, I seen dudes coming there, man. I thought for sure, yeah, he gonna get me out.
Yeah.
To no avail. Finally, the judge of the city came. Somebody had called her up. Take in mind that this judge, she had married us legally, but she had came to one of my friends' church one time. He had a gathering, and he invited me to speak, and she was present. I spoke, and I just prayed over her, and the Lord really blessed her. And I didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
But she was really impacted by just how God blessed her. She comes in there, and all the guys stood up like this. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Everything coming out. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And she told them, she said, do you know who this man is? And he's kind of like, yeah, this dude. They told him to give him a rundown what I did.
Yeah.
She's like, this man has been a blessing to my life. And he's been a blessing to many people in this town. And she's like, you need to release him. I will take care of this case. And man, at that very moment, I was out of there.
Wow.
I was out of there, bro.
Man, that's favor
so the
right
judge
there.
of the city, man.
That's
set me
favor
free,
right
man.
there.
Most definitely, man. Her name was Nancy, man.
Yeah.
And I was just so appreciative, man. And she was just so grateful that she was in a position to be able to help me like that. Because, like, you blessed me. I want to help you.
I love it.
Yeah,
man.
I'll never forget it, man.
I told my wife that story as soon as I got home. I was like, look, this is a favor. I need this in my life right now. Oh, man.
No doubt, man. I'll never forget it, man. Never forget it, man.
That's cool.
Oh,
man.
yeah, man.
Man, is there anything else that you wanted to add in with crossing culture? Did we miss anything?
Yeah, man, just crossing culture, know where to find me, right?
Yeah.
You can find me on LinkedIn, Roger Simmons. You can find me on Facebook, Crossing Culture, or my Facebook page. You can find me there, and if you want to be reached, be able to talk to you in person about what I do.
Yeah.
I like to do an assessment because I like to. The purpose of the assessment, so I want to scratch where people itch.
Yeah.
I don't want to come into any organization and to just be,
got a
thinking,
blueprint
I know
that
what you're gonna do.
fits
I'm gonna fix everybody.
Yeah.
But I want to really know where are you at in this journey of culture competency? What areas that you want to be strengthened in, and then we can be able to put together a training and a plan to be able to be customized and to help you, where you need it the most.
Right.
That's it, bro.
Hit right at home.
Right at home.
I
Hit right
love
at
it,
home.
man.
Real talk.
Well, just to finish us off, man, I got a quick 5 questions.
Yeah.
You don't have to go real deep into it, but I just ask for your truth. So that's all I need.
No doubt.
Number 1, selfishly, what's important to you?
Relationships. And that's family, friends.
Yep.
I value relationships. That's very important to me.
Love it. And I know, so number 2, I know being great comes at a cost. Being great at anything. So what's something that has cost you?
Something that has cost me?
Yeah.
Something that has cost me. Living overseas. I left everything.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I sold everything when I moved overseas. I had my family here.
Yeah.
But it cost me leaving my family. Left my mom.
Yeah.
And everything that I was comfortable with and that I knew. It cost me. I had to leave all that. Yeah.
You do it again in a heartbeat. Won't you?
Most definitely. It changed my life. It changed my life for the good.
Number 3, what's something small that bothers you? Like a pet peeve almost.
Probably a disorganized house.
I can see that. My wife's the same way.
Yeah.
Same way.
That's kind of, my wife knows that too.
No matter how late. Yeah.
If I come home from work, not saying my wife is, messy or anything, but if there's things that are kind of out of place, and I'm right at it, trying to put it all,
Yep.
And sometimes I go too far with it, but that's, those things kind of get under my skin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What would be your motto for life if you had to sum it up into one sentence?
A motto of life?
Yeah.
sum it up in one sentence, a motto of life would be in right relationship with God, and in right relationship with the people that you love.
I like that.
So it's pretty much the vertical and the horizontal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
That's it right there in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's the mega commandment.
And then last question.
Yeah.
One sentence that you will want the world to say about you when you're gone.
That I sought to be a man of humility and originality.
Yeah.
I was teachable, and that I was not afraid to be who I am in my own skin.
Roger Simmons, I appreciate you, sir. I'll have his links all up. Y'all go check him out. Crossing Culture on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You'll see all the links all over the place, man. It's a great dude right here. And y'all know I don't vouch for nothing that I don't believe in. This is a great man right here. So check him out, man. Thank you again for
You
sitting
got it,
down
my brother.
with me.
You got it.
We'll catch y'all later.